streak, which was a franchise record. At the end of the season, the Celtics were the second worst team in the NBA. They were at least hoping that they could get a high draft pick and select either Greg Oden or Kevin Durant to help rebuild the franchise, but they fell fifth in the NBA draft lottery. In Summer 2007, Danny Ainge made a series of moves that returned the Celtics to prominence. On NBA draft night, they traded Jeff Green, Wally Szczerbiak, and Delonte West to the Supersonics for Ray Allen and a second-round pick, which was used to select Glenn Big Baby Davis. Then the Celtics traded Ryan Gomes, Gerald Green, Al Jefferson, Theo Ratliff, and Sebastian Telfair to the Timberwolves, where Kevin McHale, who was once Danny Ainge's former teammate, he was the GM of the team, and they swapped 2009 first-round picks for Kevin Garnett. These moves created the Boston Three Party, which is a nickname for Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce, by Scott Van Pelt at This Is Sports Center commercial, which would revitalize the team and lead them back to glory. The Celtics completed the largest single-season turnaround in NBA history. The new big three of Pierce, Allen, and Garnett went 66 and 16 in the regular season, a 42-game improvement. However, initially the team struggled in the playoffs. The Atlanta Hawks took them to 7 games in the first round, as well as the Cleveland Cavaliers in the semifinals. But the Celtics defeated the Pistons in 6 games in the Eastern Conference Final, winning 2 road games. In the 2008 NBA Finals, the Celtics faced MVP Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers for the 11th time, the first time since 1987. The Celtics won Game 1 at home 98-88, fueled by strong play by Garnett and Pierce's dramatic comeback from a second-half knee injury. They would also go on to win Game 2 108-102, despite nearly blowing a 24-point lead in the fourth quarter. As the series shifted to Los Angeles, the Lakers stifled Pierce and Garnett in Game 3, won 87-81. However, the Celtics would overcome a 24-point deficit in Game 4 to win 97-91, the largest comeback in NBA Finals history. After again blowing a large lead, the Lakers hung on to win Game 5 103-98, sending the series back to Boston. In Game 6, the Celtics overpowered the Lakers, winning 131-92, clinching their 17th NBA title and first since 1986. It remains the most lopsided win in a championship-clinching game. Paul Pierce was also named NBA Finals MVP. The win in Game 6 was a sense of relief, as it was a difficult path to his championship. In that game, these Celtics set a record for most games a team has ever played in a postseason with 26, surpassing the 1994 New York Knicks, whom coach Doc Rivers played for, and the 2005 Detroit Pistons. Each of them played 25, but lost their respective finals in 7 games. The 2008-2009 season, the Celtics started off the season at 27-2, the best starting record in NBA history. They also had a pair of 10 or more game winning streak, including a franchise record 19-game streak. After the All-Star break, Kevin Garnett was injured in a loss against the Utah Jazz, missing the last 25 games of the season. He was eventually shelved for the playoffs. The 2009 Celtics still finished with 62 victories, but their playoff run would end against the Orlando Magic in the second round, losing in 7 games after leading 3-2, the first such occurrence in team history. In the prior round, they were pushed to a Game 7 against the Chicago Bulls, with 4 of those games went to overtime. Yet the Celtics' experience was too much for the young Bulls. The following year, with the return of Garnett from injury and the additions of Rasheed Wallace and Marcus Daniels, the Celtics started the season 23-5 and at one point had the best record in the NBA. However, Doc Rivers decided to lessen his aging stars' minutes to keep them fresh for the playoffs. As a result, the Celtics sputtered to an even 27-27 record for the rest of the way and finished the 2009-2010 season with a 50-32 record, with a better road 26-15 than home 24-17. Despite previous predictions, the Celtics would never go deeper in the playoffs. They still made it to the NBA Finals despite their lowly 4th seeding. They defeated the Miami Heat in 5 games, upsetting the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were the number 1 seed in 6 games, and toppled the defending Eastern champion Orlando Magic, avenging their loss from the previous season. Rajon Rondo emerged as a bona fide superstar during postseason play, continuing his rise to fame, beginning with his first All-Star appearance. For the 12th time, the adversary were the Lakers. After taking a 3-2 series lead heading into Los Angeles for Game 6, the Celtics appeared poised to pack into their 18th title, but Kendrick Perkins, the team's starting center, suffered a severe knee injury early in Game 6, and the Celtics would lose Game 6 and go on to blow a 13-point lead in Game 7. After speculation, coach Doc Rivers would quit to spend more time with his family. He affirmed on June 30th, 2010 that he had returned to the team in the 2010-2011 season. During the offseason that year, Kendrick Perkins was expected to be out until February of that next year. So, to be prepared, they signed two former All-Star centers, Shaquille and Jermaine O'Neal, along with Turkish center Semi Erden, their 2008 second-round pick, and the return of Delonte West. Shaquille O'Neal's presence wound up leading to Perkins' departure. The Celtics were 33-10 in games Perkins had missed during the year due to injury, with a 19-3 record with games Shaquille O'Neal played over 20 minutes. Consequently, Perkins was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder in February when the Celtics were 41-14 and held the Eastern Conference leaderboard despite another rash of injuries. Following the trade, however, they proceeded to win only 15 of their final 27 games to finish with a 56-26 record, sliding to the third seed due to the injuries. O'Neal played only 5 minutes, and difficult adjustment of new Celtics such as Jeff Green, Nenad Kirstic, and Carlos Arroyo. The 2010-2011 season still provided three landmarks. The Celtics became the second team to reach 3,000 victories. Paul Pierce became the third Celtic to score 20,000 points after Larry Bird and John Havlicek, and Ray Allen broke the NBA record for most three-pointers made in a career. The 2011 playoffs started with the Celtics sweeping the New York Knicks 4-0 in the opening round. But in the second round, they were ousted by eventual Eastern Conference champions Miami Heat in 5 games. Shaquille O'Neal, limited to 12 minutes in 2 games of the second round, retired at the end of the season. In the 2011 NBA Draft, the Celtics acquired 2 Purdue teammates, Juwan Johnson and Etuan Moore. During the short preseason following the 2011 NBA lockout, the Celtics signed free agents Marcus Daniels, Chris Wilcox, Keon Dooling, and Greg Steinsma, while acquiring Brandon Bass from the Magic for Glenn Davis and Von Waffer. They also re-signed Jeff Green, only to have it void after a physical revealed that Green was diagnosed with the aortic aneurysm, forcing him to miss the season. The Celtics started the season 0-3 with Paul Pierce out with a heel injury and his replacement, Michael Petrus, taking long to debut. The struggles led to the longest losing streak in the Big Three era with 5 games, and by the All-Star break, the Celtics were below 500 with a 15-17 record. However, they were one of the hottest teams after the break, going 24-10 the rest of the year and winning their 5th division title in a row. The Celtics would end up making the playoffs as the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference in the 2012 NBA playoffs. In the playoffs, the Celtics faced the Atlanta Hawks in the first round, beating them in 6 games led by strong play from Pierce and Garnett. In the conference semifinals, the Celtics faced the Philadelphia 76ers led by Doug Collins and a group of promising players that would push the Celtics into a full 7-game series. After a Game 7 85-75 win, the Celtics faced the Miami Heat once again, but this time in the Eastern Conference Finals, who had defeated them in the playoffs, like I said in the previous year. After losing the first 2 games in Miami, Boston fought back and won the next 3 games, with the possibility of closing the series at home. The Celtics suffered a blowout loss at the TD Garden of 98-79, taking the series back to Miami for Game 7, where the Celtics built an early lead but eventually lost 101-88. The Heat would go on to defeat the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals that year. 2012 offseason started with the Celtics having only 6 players under contract, While Kevin Garnett re-signed, Ray Allen chose to sign with the Miami Heat for less money, bringing the 5-year Big Three era to a somewhat stop. The Celtics also signed free agents Jason Terry, Jason Collins, Darko Milicic, and Leandro Barbosa, and also acquiring Courtney Lee in a 3-team sign-and-trade deal where Johnson, Moore, Sean Williams, and a future second-round pick were sent to the Houston Rockets, and the Portland Trailblazers got Sasha Pavlovic, drafted 3 players, Jared Solinger, Fab Melo, and Chris Joseph, and renewed with Brandon Bass along with Chris Wilcox and Jeff Green, who both were returning to play after sustaining season injury heart ailments. Despite losing Rondo and Solinger to injury, the Celtics compiled a 7-game winning streak, including victories over the Heat in double overtime and the Nuggets in triple overtime. The winning streak was snapped on February 12th when Leandro Barbosa suffered a season-ending injury, torn ACL. To compensate, the Celtics signed swingman Terrence Williams, forwards DJ White and Shavlik Randolph, and traded Barbosa and Collins to the Washington Wizards in exchange for guard Jordan Crawford. The Celtics finished the season with 41 wins but played only 81 games after a home game against the Indiana Pacers on April 16th was canceled because of the Boston Marathon bombings. The game was not made up with both teams already assured of their playoff positions. The 41 wins were the lowest totals the Celtics achieved as a playoff-bound team since 2004. The Celtics trailed 3-0 to the New York Knicks in the first round of the 2013 NBA playoffs before losing the series in 6 games. In Game 6, the Celtics nearly completed a comeback when they went on a 20-0 run to cut the lead to 4, but that was the closest they got as the New York Knicks would take over the win. During the offseason, head coach Doc Rivers was allowed out of his contract and left to coach the Los Angeles Clippers, giving the Celtics an 2015 unprotected first-round pick as compensation. A few days later, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, after waiving his no-trade clause along with Jason Terry and DJ White, were traded to the Brooklyn Nets for Keith Bogans, Marshawn Brooks, Chris Humphries, Chris Joseph, Gerald Wallace, and 3 future first-round picks in 2014, 2016, and 2018, with the option of swapping 2018 pick with Brooklyn's 2017 pick. The deal was later approved by the league on July 12, 2013, effectively ending the Big Three era and marking the start of a youth movement for the team. One of the leading players in that 2013 draft pick was Kelly Olynyk. On July 3, 2013, the Celtics announced that Brad Stevens, the head coach of Butler University, would replace Doc Rivers as the head coach. Halfway through the season in January, Rajon Rondo made his return and was named the 15th team captain in Boston Celtics history, and the team furthered the youth movement by acquiring 2 draft picks in a 3-team trade that sent Jordan Crawford and Marshawn Brooks to the Golden State Warriors, while the Celtics received the Heat center Joel Anthony. The 2013-2014 season marked the Celtics' first missed playoffs since the Big Three era. The next offseason, the Celtics drafted Marcus Smart with the 6th overall pick and James Young with the 17th overall pick in the 2014 NBA draft and signed Evan Turner. The 2014-2015 season had several roster changes, the most prominent being Rajon Rondo and rookie Dwight Powell traded to the Dallas Mavericks for Brandon Wright, Jay Crowder, and veteran point guard Jameer Nelson and future picks. A total of 22 players spent time with the Celtics that season. Leading scorer and rebounder Solinger suffered a season-ending left metatarsal stress fracture, and the team was only 10th in the East with 28 games remaining. However, mid-season acquisition Isaiah Thomas helped the team win 22 of their last 34 games, finishing the season with a 40-42 record, enough for the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs. The Celtics were swept by the 2nd seed Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round. In the 2015 draft, Boston selected Terry Rozier, R.J. Hunter, Jordan Mickey, and Marcus Thornton with the 16th, 20th, 33rd, and 45th selections respectively. So that is it for the Boston Celtics full history, and it's pretty accurate as of when I'm uploading this video, like May 2016. I might miss a few things. Who knows? Comment down below if I made any mistakes. and the next history of video will be the Los Angeles Lakers. So yeah, see you guys in my next video. Bye.